All right, in this explainer, we are going to break down a super simple but really powerful blueprint for building an argument that is just unshakable. We're going to give you the tools you need to write more persuasively and honestly, more effectively, starting right now.
So, have you ever been in that situation? You know you have a great point. You've got all the reasons lined up in your head, but when you actually try to write them down, it just kind of falls flat. It's so frustrating, right? But what if I told you there was a structured way to build a case so strong it's practically bulletproof?
Well, the solution is all about mastering what we call argumentative writing. And listen, this isn't about being loud or confrontational. No. It's the art of presenting a really clear position and then backing it up with solid logic and actual evidence. It's all about convincing, not shouting. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with a simple 4-part blueprint. Then we'll dive into how to build your absolute strongest case. After that, we'll look at how to use counterarguments to your advantage. And trust me, you want to. And then we'll finish up with some key style tips. By the end, you'll have the whole toolkit.
First up, the 4-part blueprint. Seriously, think of this as the steel frame for a skyscraper. Every single powerful argument is built on this exact foundation. Get this right, and you're golden.
And the structure itself is wonderfully simple. First, you have the introduction. Its job is to hook the reader and clearly state your main point, your thesis. Next, you've got the body. This is where you build your case brick by brick. Third, the counterargument, which shows you've thought about other perspectives. And finally, the conclusion, which just wraps it all up and leaves a lasting impact.
Okay, now for the real heart of your argument, building your strongest case. This is where we lay the bricks, and we're going to do it with cold, hard logic, not with emotion.
So here's a rule that is absolutely crucial. Focus. Each paragraph in the body of your essay should tackle one and only one core argument. You state your point, you explain why it's valid, and then you back it up with a crystal clear example. One paragraph, one idea. It keeps everything so clean and powerful.
And this right here, this is the fundamental difference between an argument that stands strong and one that just falls apart. You have to build your case with facts, with logic, with real evidence from research. You want to avoid relying on pure emotion or, wild exaggeration. One way builds a case that's incredibly tough to argue with. The other way, well, it can collapse with just a single question.
Let's move on to what I honestly think is the secret weapon of persuasive writing, the power of the counterargument. This isn't about admitting you're wrong. It's actually about showing just how right you are.
What's really fascinating here is the psychology of it. When you bring up an opposing viewpoint and then calmly and logically take it apart, you're doing more than just winning a point. You're actually showing your reader that you are confident, you're fair, and that you've thought about this topic from every single angle. It builds an incredible amount of trust and credibility.
And the best part is, getting started is easy. You can use these simple, kind of elegant phrases to introduce the other side. Something like, however, one might argue that, or while some believe X, the evidence actually points to Y. It's such a smooth way to transition and set yourself up to make your own point even stronger.
Okay, so you've built this solid structure. Now it's time for the finishing touches, the little things that make your argument really shine. Let's talk about style.
2 simple rules here can make a massive difference. First, try to stick to the simple present tense. It just makes your writing feel more immediate, more direct. Second, use linking words. Words like firstly, furthermore, and however are like little signposts for your reader, guiding them from one idea to the next and showing them how everything connects logically. And at last, you bring it all home with your conclusion. Your job here is simple. Sum up your most powerful points and state your main position one last time with confidence. Now here's the golden rule. Never, ever, ever introduce new arguments here. This is where you seal the deal, you don't start a whole new conversation. So let's pull all this together. We've gone through the entire blueprint for building a really convincing, totally unshakable argument. So what are the biggest things you need to remember? Look, it really all boils down to these 3 key takeaways. First, structure is king. That 4-part blueprint, introduction, body, counterargument, conclusion, that is your surefire path to clarity. Second, always choose logic over emotion. And third, don't be afraid of the counterargument. You got to embrace it. It's the mark of a truly confident and persuasive writer. So there you have it. You have the complete blueprint now. You have the structure, you have the tools, and you have the strategy to build an argument that doesn't just state your opinion, but actually convinces other people to see your point of view. So, I guess the only question left is,
What argument are you going to build first?